What's up, buddy? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Bucky. This mic was not wanting to connect. You say you off it too, baby. What you gonna let me do, baby? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope everybody's doing good. Coming to you live from a... I don't know if anybody would want to call this a beautiful day. I personally would. I think most days are beautiful, but it ended up raining today. It rained a few days ago, but it hasn't, besides these 2 days, it hasn't really rained in a long time. We're just going around for a little ride around town, having fun. Look at this, we got a new little dispensary right here. And there's a cop just sitting there at the back of the parking lot. Boy, I don't know what he's doing. If he's just like sitting there having fun, maybe he just got some little something, you know what I'm saying? Or if he's trying to catch people like hotboxing in the parking lot there, you know? It's funny because, like, you know, it's a legal thing to go into that dispensary and buy shit, but for some reason, having a cop in the parking lot just makes anything feel or seem illegal, even if it's not. Like, even if I were to go in there right now and buy some weed, it would be perfectly legal, but for some reason, the cop being right there just makes it feel illegal as shit. But today, point of today's video here is we're going to be talking about why I got a Harley. Because most people, especially in my age range here, usually end up getting like sport bikes. Like, it's pretty uncommon for a 20, 21-year-old to end up getting a Harley. You know, it happens, but I definitely think it's, you know, kind of a surprise to most. Like, when I meet other riders, whether I'm like, typically when I'm not riding, you know, if I'm just like walking around or something, or I just happen to see a guy on a bike, I'll always say what's up, like, oh, hey man, you know, what are you riding? You know, what is this? We'll talk about it a little bit. And when I tell people I have a Harley, I'm like, oh yeah, I got a Sportster. Like, a lot of people just fucking retard. But a lot of people end up looking at me kind of weird when I tell them that I drive a Harley, because it's not really something that you'd expect to see, like a kid riding a Harley. You know, most people around my age end up getting like sport bikes and shit, so it's definitely a little out of the ordinary, but it's what I like, man, that's for sure. Like, my first bike was we've talked about it a little bit already before, but my first bike was a Shadow 600 VLX. Just a nice little cruiser bike. And I love cruisers. They're a lot of fun to ride, man. They're a little bit more of a relaxed experience compared to a sport bike. I mean, you can be relaxed on a sport bike for sure, but I definitely have a more comfortable time on a cruiser, just because like they're made to be more comfortable bikes. You know, Harley is made to feel more comfortable than a sport bike. I definitely would want to get one, but like I'm a daily rider, and at this point in time, I can't really picture myself daily riding a sport bike. Every once in a while I'll see a nice like 600 or something, and I'll think about offering trades, but there's no way I'd ever do it. You know, I would love to keep this bike for as long as humanly possible. And, you know, maybe get like a sport bike on the side. A lot of people our age, man, they would rather get sport bikes because, you know, it's fun being young, going fast, doing tricks and shit. And I'd love to do some stunts. Well, that sounds awesome. I would love to learn how to wheelie and shit. And I know people can wheelie Sportsters like this, but it almost feels like disrespectful to try to stunt on a bike like this. I think that's another reason why I would only have a sport bike as like a secondary bike, because that's honestly what I do if I had a sport bike. Is it would pretty much just be my stunt bike. I really wouldn't want to ride that thing around just every single day as my main bike, and I wouldn't want to stunt this thing. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think, what you guys ride. If anybody else is my age with a Sportster or any kind of Harley, you know, they're still out there. I met a kid through work who was about like 25, 26, I want to say, and he had like a road glide. He had like a early 2010s, like nice like little bagger. That was a pretty nice looking bike. And I saw him a few months ago. I know he sold it and he got some kind of tricked out Sportster. That was a cool kid. I can't even remember his name, but anyways, I've always wanted to be a cruiser guy. Like, that was like my first thought process when getting a bike in the first place. And, you know, part of that goes to the people around me. Like, I don't really have anybody, like, I don't really have a lot of friends who have sport bikes. You know, like one of my best friends, I'll just call him John. John, he's like twice my age. I work with him. And he's a Harley guy, but he's like a stereotypical Harley guy. You know, he's older. He's like twice my age. And he's also got a Sportster 1200. He's just got a newer version. Because I have a 09 and he's got a 2019. And it's pretty nice. I remember the first time I actually rode it, it was really weird. I just took it around like the parking lot at work for a little bit. I was like, whoa, that thing's fucking weird. Because his bars were super low on that thing. Like, the guy that he got it from, because he also has a Sportster 1200. The guy that he got it from had, I think, the 883 bars. So they're really low. And then it also had mid controls, which this thing also has mid controls, which I'm used to by now. But the Honda, its controls were out like this, like where my highway pegs are. So it was a whole different experience at first, riding that thing, because I was like, whoa, like mid controls on a cruiser, what the fuck? And I felt like I was riding a sport bike. It was really weird. But now here I am, used to the mid controls. It's been a few months now since I rode something with forward controls, so I really don't know what I'd say I prefer, because I feel really comfortable with these now. But man, that Honda, like anybody looking to get into bikes and wants to ride cruisers, I would 100% recommend getting a Shadow 600, same thing as me, as your first bike, because it was just a phenomenal starter bike. If I still kept it as a secondary bike, I would still be riding that thing around. Maybe not as much as this, but maybe more than this. I really don't know. But I probably put about like 3,000 miles on that thing. It was a nice, fun ride, but for a cruiser, it's very, very comfortable stock. Like I think one of the reasons that they consider Sportsters to be like girl bikes, or because they kind of do feel like a girl bike stock. Like, obviously I got higher up bars, but like a Harley that has like mid controls and low bars, I mean, hell, that's basically a girl bike. You know, that's definitely why there's like that stereotype with Sportsters. is because, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I feel like they're kind of made for girls. Stock. Since I have mine a little bit tricked out, it's a way more comfortable ride. But the Shadow 600 that I had, you know, that thing was completely stock, and it was a very, very comfortable ride. I wish that I had footage of myself riding it, but I didn't get the camera equipment and shit until after I got this bike, so I don't have any footage of me riding it. But man, that Shadow, I'll put some pictures up on the screen. I probably have in previous videos, but I'll put up a picture or two. It was such a clean bike, such a nice, fun ride. My biggest issue with it is just that it couldn't really do like highway speeds, at least very comfortably. Like, I felt like I was just screaming that engine too much. But it was a great bike, man. It really was. Like I said, perfect starter bike for a first bike to have. Like, that was awesome. But yeah, main reason I chose a Harley over a sport bike is just because they're more comfortable for daily riding. That's the honest truth. And the reason I picked the Sportster specifically is just because they're super easy to maintain. Like, the maintenance is next to nothing on these things. And you know, most Harley riders are weekend warriors, and it's very easy to find like a good deal for one that's tricked out with like low to no miles on it, because, you know, OGs just don't really ride them. Did she really just blow through the stop sign? That's actually crazy. Most people that have like issues with their Harleys, I usually end up seeing it being with like the bigger motors. And I mean, those bikes kind of just look like money pits. You know, some of the newest Harleys are like $45,000, which is a lot of money for a bike. Whereas I got a pretty good deal on this thing. I don't want to say how much. It doesn't even really matter. I can say how much. I spent $4,500 on this bike, and it's got, when I first got it, it was about, oh god, how much? Like 8,600. Like I think I'm just about at 1,000 miles since I got it. I think when I got the Honda, it was at like 16,000, and that was a 07. But you can see a lot of those Hondas for like, you know, I got mine for like 2,200, and I've seen a lot of them in that same price range of like the 1,500 to 3,500, depending on like how tricked out they are, how many miles they have. But a lot of those ones will end up having like upwards of, what a beautiful sunset. I'm sorry to get distracted here, but that is just gorgeous. But a lot of those bikes will end up having like 50,000 miles on them. Pretty much sums up why I chose this bike over other bikes. Is A, low maintenance. B, it's a more comfortable daily ride. And C, shit, man, I like what I like. And I think I got pretty good taste. So, you know, if you think differently, you know, bikes are a pretty personal thing. You know, whatever you think is cool is not what the next guy thinks is cool, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, some people might think I have one of the coolest bikes they've ever seen, and some people might think I have one of the gayest bikes they've ever seen. You know, it's really a personal preference. And yeah, that's the thing with doing stuff that's yours. It's yours. Do what you want with it, man. That's really where we're gonna end off the video here, man. Thanks to anybody who watched this. I got a lot of support on one of my last uploads for thanking my first subscriber. I'm actually already at 16 subscribers. So, hell yeah, thanks to everyone who watched that video and subscribed. And really anyone that just watched that video in the first place, man. It means a lot. You know, the more people I get watching my videos, And the more people that get subscribing is more of a reason to keep making videos. So thank you to anyone who watched that video. Thank you to anyone who liked and subscribed. And please do the same on this video, man. But yeah, anyways, that's me signing off. See you guys. So I already ended the video, but I was just recording that. I just wanted to say, some people get way too mad at people on the road or give unnecessary reactions. If you're watching that right there, if you really pay attention to what happened, the car in front of me was very clearly blocking the path to which the driver turning could see. So because of that, you know, doing my job and being aware of my surroundings, I slowed down a little bit, and I didn't honk at the person. I didn't like, you know, fucking just throttle dump on them. What is it called? Like a throttle blast, throttle bomb? No, that's not it. I don't know, but I think throttle bomb is it. I'm just gonna call it throttle bombing. I didn't throttle bomb a person. And if you get a close enough look on there, you can see them put up their hands, like to show, like, oh, I'm so sorry I didn't see you. So I put up my hand too to let them know that it's okay. I understand. I honestly probably would have turned out there too. You know, it's just something that happens. You can't really be mad at something like that, especially if you're still alive. You know. Like, there's some people where it's like, it's very obviously like their fault, and they should have been like more careful of paying more attention. Like when I was out there before on the main road, and that guy pulled out in front of me when I was clearly like in the way. That one, you know, no question about it. That's why I honked at that guy. But this person back there, they didn't deserve that. They couldn't even tell. That wasn't their fault at all. Good boy. Good boy.